Welcome back to Up to the Time. Today we have another presentation. I am going to be looking at a CXC question. I had a special request to complete this assignment. It's a surface development question. So I would read the question. Figure 5 above shows in first angle projection the elevation and incomplete plan of a truncated right square pyramid. Draw full size the following views: the given elevation, the completed plan, the development of the truncated pyramid with the seam on the edge AA. This is a question that was taken from CXC 1993. Now, in order for us to do this question, I have here a model that would help us, give us an understanding of this. So this is the truncated version with the top removed. We can see how it looks like, what it looks like there. And this is with the top on, and the top takes on a glass appearance. Now, if we look at it from plan, and we take off the perspective, that's how a pure plan of the figure will look. We look at it from elevation, it will look something like that. This is a square base pyramid, all right, with a truncation. Now, let's go over to AutoCAD. Before we start, let us briefly define surface development. I have 2 videos on surface development, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here explaining surface development. I'm just going to briefly give a definition. Surface development is a full-size layout of an object drawn on a plane. Some objects are made of flat sheet metal. When the sheet is cut, as per this layout, folded and joined together, it takes the shape of an object. So here are some examples of surface developments. We have a prism, we have a cylinder, a pyramid, cone, sphere, and a tetrahedron. Let's get back to the question at hand. This is the question here. Okay, so my screens are set up, and what's the strategy? How am I going to tackle this question? Well, firstly, I need to create a plan. That's the most important thing. So I'm going to create the plan, and when I say the plan, I'm referring to this figure here first. That's the first thing I'm going to create, and then I'm going to create this, which is the elevation second. All right. The plan is simple. It's a 50-50 square, but it's rotated at 45 degrees. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go REC, enter, and I put 50, 50, enter. That's my plan there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move it down to here, to the corner, so we have lots of space to work with on our drawing. Now I'm going to rotate this. So that's my plan there, rotated at 45 degrees. Now I'm going to draw the rest of the plan as far as I can. That will be the plan there of a pure pyramid. But seeing that we have a truncation, the plan is not going to look like that in its final finished presentation. So I'm projecting these lines across, and that line is the edge line of my drawing. Now I'm going to offset 10. Well, I'm offsetting 10, and then another 10. The first 10 that I offset, that actually helps to give me a frame for my drawing. Then the second 10 is the base as to where my elevation would start. So I'm going to project this up, project that up there. And look, let me just clear here so that we can come back over here. What are we going to be looking at now over here? Well, let's observe these heights. 80, then the cut point is 35, and the angle is 30 degrees. So we're going to put in this number. So I'm going to come here, offset 85 from my baseline, and then I'm going to offset 35. So I know my 35 here. And what I'm going to do is just going to project this line all the way to the apex. That's the top of my triangle. And I think at this stage, yeah, I've completed my triangle. Voila. Triangle is in. Remove this line if I wanted to. And that's that. Now I'm going to insert the truncate, the slice. The truncation tab, 30 degrees. Yep, trim. Don't need that line being so long. So that's in. So far, so good. Now, I need to clean up this drawing. So let me put a few breakpoints here. Why I need to clean this drawing? Because this part of here, we're not going to actually see. So I'm going to put this into my hidden layers, right? Just like that. So as to reflect what the drawing has there at the top. Now, I'm going to remove this cut line. Let's just look at what we have so far. We got a truncated pyramid, square base pyramid. We have an elevation finished, and then we have an incomplete plan. All right? But we're going to work to completing everything shortly. I'm just organizing my layers now so I can understand my work better. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky. So I am going to grab a note from here, which is 1, and I'm going to copy this across, and I'm going to label my first point. And that's my first point there on the cut. Bring this up ever so slight. That's cut 1. Now let me locate where this is going to be. I'm going to project my line down here, and I know that this will have to cut right there. So that cuts right there. So I'm put a point. Yep. That's point, and that's cut 1. What I'm going to do is also going to label that. That's 1, 1. So the ones line up. Now, what else can I put in here? I can't put any on this center line because honestly, we don't know where to locate them on this center line. You need to have an intersection. I was able to locate one because there was an intersection where this line meets that line. The vertical meets the horizontal, creating a perpendicular angle, and that's what we're looking for, that intersection. So at this present time, I can only put in this point here and this point here, because I'm able to project this point here down where it touches here, and I'm able to do the same thing over here. Those are the only 2 points that I can put in at this present time. All other points I'm going to have to calculate. Let's call this point, I don't know. Let's call it 2. Although it is really, this should either be point 3 because there's some points that have been skipped. So I'll call this point 3. Okay. So it's points 1 and points 3 are already in. So far, so good. Now, what I need to do to get in this point 2 and 4, 2 and 4 are going to share this same center line as they come down here, right? So I'm going to move over this to this point here and call it 2 and 4. 2, 4. They share that same point. Now, In order for me to establish where those are going to be placed, I need to create the second elevation. However, the question never asks for the second elevation, but I need to create it. So I need to come here at this point again from my frame line and offset 10. No, sorry, from the edge of my drawing, offset 10. Now this is my frame line. And then I offset another 10 as so where the edge of the second drawing is going to go. So I'm just setting up the frames, the information line. I call this the information line here. So all the information comes through this line and then makes a perpendicular, then moves from there at 90 degrees perpendicular up to the elevation. Very important. Now, I'm going to copy some lines around. Copy that there. Right. Establish the base. So I got my base, let me establish the height. So now I can transfer my information from the plan lines up to here. Really and truly, this should only come to here, and then this should only come to here. And then from there, I'm going to go over to another there. I'm going to create the triangle over here. Cool. That triangle is established. Cool, cool, cool. And let's clean up this. I like cleaning it. So that I can see things clearly, right? But this line and that line, I'm going to join. This line and that line, I'm going to join as well. Reason being is I'm going to put these two lines into my center lines layer. This also is the center line. Yeah. Okay. So far, so good. Now, we need to locate these missing points. Missing points 2 and missing point 4. Just project some lines over. Let me get back over into, let me go into my construction there. Over. So point 3 right here needs to go, if I were looking at that, point 3 will go here. Yeah, could be center line. But let me explain this. I'm looking at this here. I'm projecting it here, right? But this one, I'm looking here, I'm projecting from there, right? So I'm going to deal with the elevations with the red arrow now. So I need to locate point 1, which is here. If I'm looking here, points 1, somewhere, point 1 and 3 have to be somewhere on this line, like here for 1 and somewhere up here for 3, right? Based off of this information. Look, standing right here and looking, you're going to see a low point here, and then you're going to see a high point here, right? Because this is low, that is a high point here. So we already know that. Yeah, let me just clear it up now. So I can get back to this thing. We're going to put in the line for point 1 and point 2. Just change this. This is 3. That is 1. I think they are slightly too far from the point, so let me just bring them. So, cool. That's 1 and 3 in. So you know where 1 and 3 would be located on all 3 joints. 2 and 4 now. This is the big issue. 2 and 4. So you want to get this. So again, 2 and 4 would come at the edges, right? Based off of that. If we're here looking, we're going to put 2 on this side. We're going to put all here 2. Copy this over. Point 2. And this will be point 4. Right? Point 2 and point 4. Now, we need to project 2 down to here. And we project that over to there. Right? Before we get carried away, let me just call it 2. Copy. 2. Here. Down there to the information line, and we find where 2 is located. Let's do the same thing for 4. So we have placed all the points in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Now, I'm going to transfer all of them and place them into construction lines. So the points that we had to find would be in yellow construction lines, and the points that define the square would be in green construction lines. Right. Now, okay, so let us connect this now. We go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4. Okay. So this is what I get. This is how my plan is going to look. Now, let me do something to just check back to make sure that I actually connect everything. So I'm going to use a white line. I'm going to start at point 1, and I'm going to go through all these 3 places where you will see point 1. Right, so I'm going to start here. And look, it's point 1, all 3 point spots located. Same thing for point 2. Point 2 there, 2 there, and 2 here. Let me just cross-reference. Those are all the places where 2 goes. We do the same thing for 3 now. So we know 3 is going to be here, 3 is going to be there, 3 is going to start here. And points where 3 are in position properly. Let's go 4. 4 and 2 share the same spot on one elevation. 4, 4. That's one way you can check to make sure that things are in the correct spot. Now, the question didn't ask for this elevation over here. So I'm going to not waste any time on that and then just move over to the development, all right? So far what I have is the plan finished. The plan is now complete. So I've done part B of the question, done that, and the given elevation. So I've done those first 2 parts to the question. You got to do the last part now. No. Let me, what am I going to do? I'm going to hatch. Good. Just move this over here. Turn out all my layers. Good. Issue. Let's go on to the hatch layer, and I'm going to be hatching. I don't know why that is so. I couldn't hatch those all as a group. I don't know why. The computer wanted me to hatch them separately. So that was the issue I was having. Has been resolved. User and give it a 45 degree angle. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So I've hatched the area to show that I have completed the plan. Now I'm going to put in outline. Yeah. Then what I need to do, I need to label this. The label here, front elevation. That's going to count. Changes to plan. Right? And I can actually remove this, but I'm not going to remove it due to the fact that this information over here shows that I have actually constructed the question properly. This is my working over here, so I'm not going to remove it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the development. I'm going to do the development off this angle here. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is bring everything to this point here to the edge. I'm going to be pulling all the information I need for the development from the edge here. So I'm going to 2, 3. Just trim here. Trim here. Good. First thing, what's the length of each side? Let's check back here. The length of each side is 50. So it is 50 times 4. So I'm going to create a circle here. Open it there. Imagine that is a circle. And then I'm going to divide. I'm going to try to cut my circle into 4 pieces. 4 arcs. So the distance from here to here is going to be 50. Distance from there to there is going to be the same, 50. And I'm going to do it again, 50. Then I'm going to wait till I get to my 4th point and 50. So I will have 50 times 4. 2, 3, 4. Anyway, let me explain this. You'll probably understand it once you start drawing AutoCAD. See for circle, open up a circle to this point here. Yeah. And see for circle again, open up, and then open up a radius of 50. Walk with the circle, move it. That's what I mean by walk it. Keep it locked. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to move the title out of the way because we don't need that now. And now I can trim this. Very confusing. So I'm going to put points. Point goes there, a point goes there, and a point goes there, and then a point goes there. Right now, remove these circles. These are just construction circles. And now I'm going to draw my line in here. Three. Go there. I need a 4th one. Let's see for circle again. I'll open it to 50. I can put a line from here all the way to there. Let's remove the circle. Just trim this now. All right. So this is start off of my square base pyramid. But you're probably wondering, why do I have circles or curve as the base? Problem? Into just like that. Good. So that would be, if I were drawing a pure pyramid, this would exactly be the development. You can cut this, so cutting here, these here's a hatch, and then fold them, and I will get back my pure pyramid. However, I'm not doing that. I'm doing a truncated pyramid. So I need to create the tracks for the truncation. So again, see for circle, come here, start off. And at these points that I've carefully located, I'm going to create circles like this. Okay, very good. So now I can trim. You don't need anything past these points. 1, 2, 3. And go. That's what we have here. Again, how does this work now? So let's start at 1. So we know 1 is our lowest point. So let's bring 1 here. Let's start at 1, our lowest point, and go all the way back to 1, because we're going to complete this. So I'm going to copy. Let me bring my 1 over to here. I hope this doesn't confuse anyone. 1 there. And then from 1, we go to 2. So this is going to be my second point. 2 will be here. You know what? Let me maximize the screen so that everyone can see. So we got my 1, and then we move from 1, and then we go up to 2, and then we go up to 3, and then back down to 4. So we move from 1, we go to 2, then we go to 3, then we go to 4, and then we go back down to 1. All right, so 3 is the highest point. So let's move there, copy. That's 3 there. That's 4 there. And then that's back to 1. Let me just change these numbers. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Probably asking yourself, why does 1 appear twice? Because that's the scene. So what this means is that when we get back to 1, we would stick the scene so that the shape would be complete. All right, now, take these lines. Okay, that looks good now. Now, all I need to do to complete this is connect them. Connect these lines. But first, let me save, because I haven't saved. Alpha line. Now I'm going to go here. 3. 3 is the highest point. Then we go back to 4. And then from 4 back to 1. All right, now I'm going to put these into construction. These tracks. I'm going to put this into outline. So these are the folds, the corners. I'm going to put this into outline because this is the finish. And change, move the label from here, and let's stick it here. We're going to call this surface development, right? Surface development. We don't want that going through. Surface development. Now, I'm going to turn off the layers, the construction layer, so that I can hatch this thing properly. Hit for hatch. Allow me to, I always have to hatch, then close, go back in, hatch, then close, back in, and hatch. If I try to hatch 1 and 2 and then close, it doesn't work that way. I don't know why. Sometimes settings change in AutoCAD. I swear overnight. I swear things change while I'm sleeping, and it's just not the same anymore. All right, so that there is the surface development. That there here is the elevation, and here's the plan. Let me see now. Okay, I've turned on my thickness, my line weights. So you can see that. Okay. Now what am I going to do? Turn back on the construction layer so that you can understand this process properly. Let me just clean up the drawing here now. They no longer do these things. Put it back into a zoom extent frame. Put the title and the definition of surface development here. And I think that's a wrap. That's a wrap. I'll still label this elevation my side elevation. Although that's not what required, but I had to produce a side elevation to get information to complete the plan. All right. Right. So this brings us to the end of a surface development question. Let's just review. So the question asks to draw full size the following view to give an elevation. I've done that. The completed plan, I've done that. The development of the truncated pyramid with the seam on the edge AA. All right. So I have done that, right? So far, so good. Now, let's just look at the model. before we get out of here. Aerodynamic perspective. That's the last look at the model. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to show you a 3 dimension of the surface development in the model, but I think this gives you a general understanding of how a truncated pyramid would look like. All right. Again, the area highlighted in red is the cut. That's it. So thanks for joining as I went through this question. This is a CXC question, and this is worth 20 marks. Now, CXC doesn't give you these questions anymore in the exam, but however, these questions make good geometry exercises that you can put into your portfolio. So this is a good, solid geometry question to put into your portfolio, right? If anyone wanted a geometry question to put into their portfolio, this would be ideal. Again, what we did today, we did surface development, and I answered the CXC question. Lastly, I always tell my students there are 3 things to remember. 1, you draw, so I've drawn. 2, you label, I've labeled. And 3rd, B, you need to dimension. So I'm going to dimension so that this proves to the examiner that I have worked with the information he gave, right? So that's it. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I am out.